Let me plug in my computer just.
What is shaking? We're going to have John Wilner on of the John Wilner or Wilner hotline here in a second. Right before we decided we were going to kick this off, John says, "Oh, wait, let me plug in my computer." We're very loose here at the Tom Tolbert Show.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. You kidding me? Like I said, we're very loose here. It's a very loose format. Look, we got a dog in the picture. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
I might have a dog in the picture too soon.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's funny, John, because I wanted to have you on before the season started.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to figure it out. And I was like, gee, there's so much going on in the world of college sports. It's really a shame not to have John on before the season ends. And then 2 weeks later, I said, well, I could have John on now and talk. Oh, 2 weeks later, I could have that. It never ends.
Yes.
It literally never ends. It's unbelievable. But I'm glad. I'm so happy. It's been far too long, and I'm hoping we can do it maybe more frequently because I do enjoy it. Yeah, I love our conversations. And once the weather gets good and your schedule clears up, which is never, we'll have you over to the backyard, have a beverage, and we can talk about all this.
For sure.
Let's do it. Okay, well, let's get to the last night. The news broke that Damon Williams, the quarterback for the Washington Huskies, who signed an agreement not 4 days ago with the Washington Huskies, put his name in the transfer portal. And I'm thinking, what? So what? I mean, I know what happened. Obviously, what happened is he signed it. Somebody gave him a better deal. And I liked your tweet where you said that before he decided to commit to Arizona, he decommitted from Mississippi, where Lane Kiffin was the coach.
Right.
So it doesn't take a lot to connect the dots here that, Sorsby decides to go to Texas Tech. LSU's thinking, well, damn, we need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get Williams. We'll just offer him more. Who cares if he's in the portal? He's not an employee. We'll just figure that out as we go. I mean, it's just what help. Just help me.
I didn't go to law school or business school, so I'm swimming myself. And you need a double degree to figure out college sports these days. But basically, nobody can stop him. You can't stop a kid from going from one college to another college. Yep. Even if Washington holds its ground and does not enter him into the transfer portal, he can still cancel his enrollment at Washington and enroll at LSU or anywhere else, just like any other student. I mean, we saw that actually happened last year with a kid from Wisconsin who is now at Miami. So Washington can't prevent Williams from going to LSU or wherever. They can try to get liquidated damages from the revenue sharing agreement he's got with the Huskies. So it would be a money thing for Washington, but there's no stopping him. And there's no way they can control the tampering. The whole thing is a complete mess, just like everything else in college sports. It's a complete mess and will remain a complete mess unless there is a collective bargaining agreement, like in the NFL or the NBA.
So here, because the whole thing here, to me, and way better than I, was you can't call them employees because they're not employees, because there are still people out there, presumably the same people that think pro wrestling's real, that think this isn't, the NIL isn't pay for play. I mean, of course, it's the same as it always was. It's just legal now, but they call it a different name. Yep. They're paying you to play football. They're paying you to perform a service. It isn't what it was supposed to be in my mind. Hey, I'm at campus. Somebody wants to, let's say Arby's wants me to promote their roast beef sandwich or their what's the nacho cheese one that's really good. I like that one. Anyway, I can do that. I can do a card show if I want to. I can get money from my uniform selling if I want. Like those type of things were what I thought this was like intended. And I thought, okay, perfect. But of course it's not. It's, hey, we'll give you $4 million to come play. and then we'll figure out the NIL later on. We'll make it work. We have a collective. They'll handle all the details. So the fact that they can't call these athletes employees, John, seems to me to be the biggest hang up with everything, because that's why they're not coaches. You can't sue them. You can't do this. They're still students, presumably.
Presumably, yeah. And they've got a good deal right now. I mean, think back to when you were in school.
Great deal.
Right? And compare to what they have now. They're still getting the scholarship. They're getting revenue sharing, which for some football and basketball players is, high 6 figures, even low 7 figures.
Yeah.
And they can get legal NIL, Arby's, whatever, Toyota, Tucson. And they still, they're still the under the table NIL that will never end, although it's just not as big a deal as it used to be.
Yeah.
So the NCAA has screwed up so much that the athletes have no reason to unionize, because anything that they would agree to is going to necessarily be more limited than what they have now, because there's no limits, right?
Yep.
The NCAA can't enforce anything. The courts are kicking their butt left and right, including the Supreme Court. So the athletes have no reason to unionize, which means they can't get a collective bargaining agreement, which means they can't put any parameters on any of this stuff. It is a complete mess. It's great content. It's great stuff on Twitter. It's great stuff for us to talk about. It's frustrating for fans, right? But yeah, they can't. And the crazy thing is, think about, say, a student who is working 20 hours a week in the Arizona athletic department or the Washington athletic department or Stanford or Cal. They are technically a student employee, right? They are filing taxes, and they've got all that stuff. That's not really any different than a football player. So some students can be employees, but football players can't be, which is part of the hypocrisy of the whole situation. I mean, it's nuts.
Well, the crazy thing, right now, look, it's the Wild West, where if you got a dispute with somebody, you just go shoot them out in the street, and then everybody goes about their business. They don't want to unionize, because then maybe there's a sheriff that comes to town.
Well, right.
Or maybe they could go to jail for shooting somebody. Like, hey, we just want to do our thing, and we could shoot people, and we go back and get some beers and go hang out. Let's just go do our thing. It's like, okay, cool, that's great. Like right now, they have the best of every world.
Yes.
And this is really kind of what I look, I didn't foresee this, and there's always unforeseen consequences, but I was always for the players getting a piece of the pie. It's $1 billion business. You're selling their jerseys. They should be like, whoever, if they want to use their face as for an advertisement, whatever, on campus, that cool. That's great. But man, it's turned into NFL light is what it's turned into. And even worse, because NFL light, at least they have to sign contract. Like, you don't get everybody in the NFL going into free agency every single year just to kind of see what's out there. Like, yeah, I had a good year for the 49ers. I'm going to throw my name into the portal just to see if I can get some more money. And that, to me, is where they need to make the biggest change if they can. They need to figure out some way to where it's not just a free-for-all every single year. Like, John, there's player empowerment, and then it's gone too far. Like NBA, player empowerment, I'm cool for it. But you can't hold your team hostage and not play for them until they trade you. You can, obviously you can, but you shouldn't be able to. Like, it can go too far, and I think with college athletics, it's gone too far now.
Well, and the NFL certainly doesn't have free agency now in the middle of the playoffs, right? And that's the screwy thing.
Exactly.
That's the screwy thing is the calendar is arguably the biggest problem college football has right now. Players can transfer during the playoffs, during the postseason.
Oregon players have left.
It's
unbelievable.
Penn State's backup quarterback left last year during the playoffs, right?
That's right.
But in order to fix the transfer portal and the playoffs, it's 7-dimensional chess played inside a wormhole. It's almost impossible unless you completely change the structure of the college football calendar, which they're getting closer to doing. They're getting closer to getting rid of spring practice. They're getting closer to starting the season in late August. that would allow them to do a few things. But the root of the problem is the conflict between higher education and big business, because these kids, if they're going to transfer, you got to enroll in time for the winter semester, right?
Yeah.
That and that's in January. You can't just play, just Dante Moore, Oregon quarterback, can't play in the national championship game in late January and then decide in the middle of February, I'm going to go to another school, because you can't enroll and they still have to be students. So that is another problem. And we're going to get to the day eventually when they are not students. It's going to be a long time, but that will also help solve a lot of their problems.
So it can, because obviously the schools are not going to say, well, let's start our winter semesters in February. That's not going to happen, right? It's like, so you have to move it up to August, get rid of a few weeks, whatever you have to do. You're right, because if I'm a player and I'm not playing, I'm a backup or whatever, I don't really have any choice but to put my name in the transfer portal and to try and better my situation in that window because of what you said. I can't enroll after that. So it's unfortunate, but it again, this is where we're at. We have players that are actually in the playoffs, in the portal, and then coaching staffs that are going back and forth that are actually trying to win a national championship for their players. We're talking LSU, Ole Miss, that are going back and forth. And I read today, 2 of them aren't going to be able to do it. They just said, hey, look, Ole Miss is paying us. We got to do what we got to do to take care of LSU is paying us. We got to take care of it. So it's just,
you had a head coach. A head coach left a playoff team.
A playoff team.
Its arch rival that wasn't in the playoff, right?
And then said he wanted to coach like they were going to let him coach. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's kind of like Kyle Shanahan leaving right now to take the Cardinals job.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's essentially what Kiffin did.
He did. And then you got Saleh going, I don't know if I can coach the playoffs. I'm gonna have to go down to Arizona. Right. We got some stuff going on there. So it doesn't seem to hurt ratings. It doesn't seem to hurt interest. I think people love the drama, love the intrigue. Like I love the game, so I'm always gonna watch. It's I put up with some of this stuff. I'm just like, okay, is this the way it is from now on? Or is it this is where we're at now, and there's a lot of rough edges they're going to figure out and they'll smooth out eventually. I mean, if they could just say the word employee, which is a little tough for them because it is on campus. It is supposed to be about learning. It is supposed to be, the whole amateur word, but the employee, that to me, John, if they could just say employee, I think a lot of this, because then you can make them sign contracts like coaches. Because people say coaches leave all the time. And I say, well, yeah, coaches have buyouts. And the school that's hiring the coach will either will pay the buyout or won't pay the buyout. They'll say, look, we like you. We want you enough. We'll pay you $5 million a year and we'll do the $3 million buyout. We got it. Don't worry about it. Come here. But you don't have to do that in college because they're not employees. So that's the first trick. How can you call these guys employees and have them sign contracts so it sticks? So we don't have guys signing an NIL deal and then 4 days later going, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. It's 100 years of this system. And in theory, it's higher education, and the university presidents just cannot get to that point. And I don't know when they will, but I think they're quickly realizing they don't have a choice. And it's just this chaos won't end until they take that very difficult step.
It really is quite something to watch this all kind of unfold. Let me ask you, because I do want to get to the games. I told you that was our goal today, to try to get to the games. But I do got to find out what's going on in college hoops, where like I'm seeing guys that are playing for teams. The kid Najee for Baylor. I'm like, wasn't that guy involved in a trade between the Knicks and the and the Timberwolves not that long ago? Now he's enrolling. John, I even thought, because Kenneth Lofton Jr. posted a post on Instagram, I guess, and he's going back to Louisiana Tech. And I actually thought that was true. I'm still not sure it's not true. I'm pretty sure it's not true. But that's where we're at. I'm like, maybe it is true. Maybe he can play 45 games for the Grizzlies and then go back to college. I don't know. I don't know what's legal. I don't know what guys can do anymore. Like, like, it used to be you enroll in the draft, that's it, you're done. Moving on.
Right.
So what's going on with college hoops now? Because they got guys coming back that I'm like, well, wait a minute. That guy was drafted and was like he got traded. Now he's back in college.
I know that Baylor situation has infuriated a lot of people. And the NCAA actually came out and said soon after, if you sign an NBA contract, you can't play in college. They're trying to snuff that one out before it gets out of control. And I think that the courts will probably back them up if it comes to that. But the complicating factor on the basketball side is the international piece, because there's guys that are playing, technically they're professional for club teams in Europe, and then they can play in college. So, finding that balance between allowing that and not allowing the NBA and G League situation, it could end up being very difficult. But nobody wants. See, part of it is just what the consumer is willing to agree to and what would impact the product, right? And the consumer, the fans don't care if college football players are getting NIL deals, right? They don't care necessarily that they're transferring to 5 schools in 5 years. As you mentioned, it's popular. The ratings are huge, right? The Pop-Tarts Bowl drew 9 million people, even without Notre Dame. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But I do think the line for the fans will be if an NBA player is allowed to turn around and play college ball. I don't think fans want that. And so that is, I think, the competitive pressure that will basically allow the NCAA to ward off that wormhole of guys who go play in the G League, for instance, and then want to go play for college. I don't think that's going to happen. But the international piece, I don't see that changing at all. But people don't care about that. They don't play for a guy. Patty Mills plays in Australia or whatever, and then goes plays for St. Mary's. So
Well, look, if I'm a player, I'm like, well, what? I can play professionally overseas. I can't play professionally over here, and they get to go back. So that's a whole different like. Okay, how do we justify that it's professional, but they can't see him, they can't watch him, so they can.
It's because no other country's got an equivalent in the NCAA. They don't have college sports.
Yeah,
they have their clubs.
That's true.
And their Olympic development programs.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it's different here, and with the globalization of all these college sports, the U.S. having a different entity creates a lot of conflicts.
Okay. So I hate this, but I get it. Who was the guard for Tennessee last year? The little guard that wanted to come back and play.
Zakai Ziegler?
There you go, Ziegler, yes. And I thought of him, and I was like, it's funny, me and my buddies were like, dude, fucking just move on. Dude, get out of here. Have some shame. Like, give somebody else a shot. Because what happens is the more of these dudes you get who aren't good enough to play in the NBA that stay in college, it pushes other guys down the list. And now they're playing at schools that maybe they shouldn't be at. But what do? They wait till they leave. Then they put their names in the portal. And it's just the whole thing. And Diego Pavia wants his 9th year, did Vanderbilt or whatever. It's like, what do we do with like an age limit or something? Because there is a part of this, and I want to say it kind of started during COVID a little bit, where guys were given their like 13th year. It was like, who was the guy at Cal that stayed there like 10 years? Al Grigsby?
Al Grigsby, right.
I was like, geez, like, you're back? Like, good Lord. Like, but it's hard for me to tell him no, because it is, again, there's that word, employment. It's like, hey, I'm trying to make money. I can't make money like this out in the real world. I want to play hoops. I'm not good enough to play in the NBA, but I'd like to stay here and play. NIL is going to pay me 1.5, 1.7 million, whatever it is. What do they do about that? Guys that just want to hang around forever. They want to be Wooderson and just hang around campus and say, hey, I know I'm 30, but I can sling it.
Well, so far the courts have are preventing unlimited eligibility, right?
Okay.
For many years it has been you got 5 years to play 4, right?
Yeah.
You tear up your ACL, you get another year to play.
Mm-hmm.
There's there is a legal push to create 5 years to play 5. But
Okay.
there's no indication that the courts are going to allow you to play just indefinitely 9 years of college. And I don't think the schools want that. The exceptions come with severe injuries, medical red shirts, hardship waivers, a death in the family, transfer, that kind of thing. But just, generic player X saying, I'm going to keep playing in college and collect an NIL for 10 years. I don't think that's going to happen. Because I don't think the colleges want it. I don't know that the fans want it. The degree to, moving on into the pro drafts, I think is largely a collective bargaining deal at the NBA and NFL level in terms of one and done in, basketball, and you got to wait 3 years in football. So you tell me though, there's a lot of people who think that quarterbacks coming out of college football, because they have a more incentive to stay. If you're not a first round pick, you can stay and get NIL, that the extra time in college is better preparing guys for the NFL. Do you think that the quality of play from NBA rookies is getting better because more guys are staying when they're, until they're really ready?
Well, I mean, look, I think 2 of the best rookies this year are Flag and Kneppel, and those guys stayed a year. Right. I think it's like I don't know that there's a cause and effect. I think the earlier you get in, obviously you want to get in early because you want to get that second contract as early as possible. But it's crazy in the NBA. Like Cooper Flag one day is going to make $100 million a year. He's going back about 8-9 years from now. He's going to make 100. Crazy. But I don't know that development. I think development at the NBA level is better than development in college because it's a different game. You can bounce back and forth between the G League. Now, the one thing they don't have in the NBA is more practice time. Like they just don't practice a lot during the NBA season. So that could be tougher. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably need another 5, 6, 7 years to look at it and say, okay, who are the guys that could have come out that didn't come out? I think it is better for some of the players, though, John, just because they were forced to come out. They're like, well, if I don't come out now, I don't know what next year looks like for me. And I'll come out and get a second round draft pick or get some money, get some guaranteed money, and then go to the G League and see what happens. So, I don't know. That's interesting. I always found the NFL one 3 years to be right for them, just because maturity wise. I mean, I don't want guys going. Although tell Jeremiah Smith that he could have gone in after his freshman year. I mean, that guy looks like Calvin Johnson.
Yes,
out there. He's incredible. So I don't know. It'll be it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I don't know if college basketball. You tell me. You watch a lot more college basketball than I do. I watch Arizona. Number 1, by the way. Has it been better? Has the quality been better? Has the cohesion been better with the NIL that more teams are keeping their players? Or is it just more players are staying in college, not necessarily with the same team because of NIL?
I think both. I think the quality of play has gone up. And certainly there are more good teams. I mean, that's the case in football and basketball, right? There are more good teams because of NIL and the portal. But I do think it's helping the quality of play. Now, the complicating factor on the college end is because of COVID, everybody who was in college in 2020, 21 got a free year. Yep. So that took basically 5 years to work its way through the system. So we're finally seeing what these rosters are like without the COVID babies, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Kind of not clogging things up, but adding a level of maturity to rosters that wouldn't usually exist. But I do think it's actually helping, to be honest. And I really think it's helping in college football. I just think the quarterback play, offensive lineman, especially when you get that's obviously a huge position for maturity, right, and experience. It is getting better actually, because guys who are, maybe their early day 3 pick, those guys are staying, another year, and that's helping the product.
Does college basketball, college football, do the representatives of these players need to go through I was going to say more rigorous process? How about any process whatsoever? Like, I could have Bill the barber come and like do my NIL deal. At least you got to be certified in the NBA and the NFL. You got to be a certified agent. In college, it's like, yo, bro, you want to do my NIL? Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. I'm just fishing over here. I'll come and do your deal for. Do they need to figure that out? Do they need, or is it just like, screw it, pick who you want, we don't care?
It's pretty much screw it. Bill the barber, sign my deal for me here. Which is, and that we talked about Damon Williams, a Washington quarterback. He's not getting good advice, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
And funny enough, his agent is Jed Fish's agent. The Washington coach,
crazy.
And the Washington quarterback with the same. I think he got poor advice, but there are a lot of cases where it's much worse. And the agents who are not really agents, they're not certified, they are taking advantage, not only giving bad advice, but taking advantage of the kids financially. Yeah. That is one of a lot of problems, but on the list, it's like 23rd for what college sports has to deal with.
Okay. Yeah, because to me, I think what I would tell a lot of these athletes, look, if you don't think you're good enough to play at the next level, get all you can at this level. Because this will be your one payday you can get, sock it away, and then hopefully, you can get your education and move on with life. If you think you're going to play at the next level, then try to go to a system that enhances your ability and accentuates your styles. Don't just go because someone's paying you a lot more money, because your guys that are, Bill the barber or whoever's doing it, they just want to get the most money because they're getting 10, 15%, whatever they're getting out of it. So they're trying to get the most for them. They're not worried about you. That's why I think certification would be nice. But that's the only thing that I'm not saying I don't worry about it at all. But if I were to tell these kids, look, if you think you're good enough, think about your future and think about what's better for you now to help you in the future, not a money grab, because you may end up hurting yourself.
Oh, absolutely. No question about that. And I think, that's part of the rise of some of these other programs too. Like, kids are seeing, hey, that Indiana coach knows what he's doing. I can I'm Fernando Mendoza, quarterback at Cal, and I want to try to go someplace that's going to develop my skills better, and better prepare me for the NFL. There's no doubt about that, even though it may not be the best financial offer. So I totally agree with you. But the advice, they're getting bad advice in a lot of cases. There's no doubt about it.
No, I agree. All right, let's go better short-term hire. Let's say 5 years or less. Michigan Whittingham, Penn State Campbell.
5 years or less. Michigan Whittingham, because Michigan's got all Larry Ellison's money for their NIL game. And it's still going to be about having the cash to attract the players. I think Matt Campbell was a great hire by Penn State. He should have been their first pick. Instead, they spent 2 months, getting rejected by people. He's going to be a really good hire, but I think Whittingham is perfect for Michigan for what they need now. And he's got enough energy to get through the next 4 or 5 years and be successful. And they've got all the resources they need, right? They got unlimited money, which is what you need. Look at Texas Tech, unlimited money. Look at BYU, unlimited money. Those programs, Oregon, for years, unlimited money. That's kind of what dictates who's really good these days.
Boy, Michigan, Whittingham reminds me of Andy Dufresne a little bit. He's just swimming through the crap of Michigan right now. They won their national championship, but has any school went through a run like this for every time you turn around, there's another scandal going on at a major university? Like
it's pretty amazing. It is pretty. It's kind of what you'd expect to see from the SEC. Like it's
or UNLV back in the day,
or UNLV. Yes,
exactly.
Yes, no doubt about it. Something else. I guess Mr. Harbaugh was not a real fan of the rules. Is
shocker.
Shocker. That's right. That's right. So, damn good coach, crazy, and not a fan of the rules. But it has been one thing after another. And finally, they've got to the point of, the situation with Sherrone Moore is tragic because of the personal impact, right?
Yeah.
It's not just buying a cheeseburger for a kid that he shouldn't have bought or sending somebody to scout a game you're not supposed to do. That's a real personal situation. But yeah, terrible run for the Michigan men. And the thing is,
that's what really gets them right there. That the arrogance they say that with. So like this would be a big deal regardless. But the fact you keep dropping the Michigan men, not you, but them,
right. Yeah.
Like, then everybody wants to jump on this, and rightfully so. It's like, better than anybody else. Stop it.
Absolutely. Whittingham, spotless record with the NCAA. Personal life, everything like that. He's if you're designing the guy to save them right now, get everything turned around, put it in a great place for the next decade.
Yep.
It's Kyle Whittingham, and they're fortunate in a lot of ways that he was available.
Yeah.
And it's interesting if he hadn't been available, where they would have gone. Jed Fish certainly might have been an option. He coached at Michigan under Harbaugh 10 years ago. But Utah felt it was the right time to move on. And a lot of fans are pretty upset about that. But it worked out great for Michigan. It's funny how, like, Michigan and Penn State, they can stumble and bumble, screw things up left and right. But in college football, if you're royalty, if you're a blue blood, it's going to work out, right? You can have you're born on third base. You're born halfway down the line to home plate.
Yes,
really.
You are. All right. So in recapping, because I want to get to the games real quick, little thumbnail sketch of the games. Like, give me like 3 things to help fix this NIL transfer portal mess. I think we both agree that the calendar is number 1, where you move it up and try to get everything done by New Year's Day, and that helps. I suggest calling them employees. I don't know if that would fly. I don't know if they could do that. I mean, the whole higher education and blah, blah, blah. But I think calling them employees would certainly help, in my opinion. What else? Like two other things that you look at and go, this would help.
Well, certainly, restructuring the way the financials work at the schools. I mean, a lot of this is the result of this realignment, and Cal and Stanford being in the ACC, and the LA schools and Oregon, Washington being in the Big Ten, and none of it making any sense. That's the result of these schools chasing the money, the TV money. Why are they doing that?
Yep.
Because your typical major college athletic program has 2 sports that make money and 16 to 20 sports that lose money. And those 2 sports that make money have to subsidize everything else. So in a lot of ways, it's a broken economic system at the heart of it that has forced the schools to chase every last dollar. And that's gotten them into a lot of trouble. If they could figure out a way to remove football from the rest of the athletic department and just have everything else exist on its own, then there's a different financial balance that I think would be much more healthy, both for the football side and for the Olympic sports. So that's one. And to be honest, I think it would help them if Fox or CBS or NBC had a piece of the playoff. I think the fact that ESPN is the only, think about the NFL, right? And the way they have their media deal. And the NFL is the one that decided the Bears-Packers game was going to be on Amazon, right? In college football, it's ESPN's decide. what playoff games are placed where. I think it would help to have multiple partners for the playoff. Just the general, the fact that ESPN and Fox have competing interests and they are the ATMs for all these schools is a bad setup.
Yeah. All right, you got me thinking. I gotta ask this now. Damn it. Who's gonna be better off in 3 years with the 2 new hires? Cal with Lapoy or Stanford with Pritchard?
Well, it's funny how both schools have followed such similar paths, right? Cal peaked in the 2000s, Stanford peaked in the 2010s, and then you get to the last half of last decade, and they both peter out. And if they hadn't petered out, they'd both be in the Big Ten right now because they would have been good enough to get in the Big Ten. And then things would make a lot more sense. If you got 4 California schools in Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten, it would make a lot more sense for everybody. And so now they come out of COVID and they're struggling. And both of them hire a Cal chancellor and Stanford president that are alums of the schools and big football fans. Those new leaders then turn and hire GMs who are incredibly popular football people, Ron Rivera and Andrew Luck. Rivera and Luck then turn around and hire alums to take over football, right? With Lupoy and with Pritchard. There's a lot of parallels. And I think that both schools realize that they have got to do something to fix their football programs to make them relevant. And that's good. It's good for college football in the Bay Area, which I would just say to you, Stanford's issue is all entirely willpower. They have more money than they know what to do with, right? The football budget is a rounding error on the campus finances,
exactly.
Right? They could sell 1 parking space in that town and country village across Embarcadero, and they'd be fine. That would be all they need. 1 parking space. They got so much money. It's a matter of willpower. Cal's partly willpower, but there are some constraints that Stanford doesn't have. And we saw when Stanford decided to get good 20 years ago, they got good in a hurry and they were really good. So I would say Stanford will be better in 3 years only because the path is easier. It's just, all right, we'll give athletics an extra couple million,
Yeah.
But we'll see if they want to do that.
Now Stanford's over there thinking, I don't know. Do we want to get better at football? We're kind of an up and coming botany school. And,
right.
We got like 5 different botany scholarships. Like these are big time guys that want to come here. I don't know. Maybe we'll get these guys instead of an offensive line.
Yes. We need to find somebody who has a mastery in rhododendron, right?
Exactly.
But that gets to it though, Tom.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt just won 10 games.
Yes,
I don't
they
see
did.
anybody saying Vanderbilt's a terrible school. Duke won the ACC. Duke won 10 games a couple years ago. Their spot in the U.S. News and World Report rankings went up, believe it or not. So Stanford, they got to realize they're not going to, tarnish their academic reputation if they actually win 9 or 10 games a year.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the games. Let's get to the first one tomorrow night. We got Miami going against Ole Miss, and look, Beck has 10 picks this year, 6 of them in 2 games.
Yeah.
2 games they lost against Smoot and Louisville. Now, Smoot did outgain him. They outgained him per play. They outgained him from the line of scrimmage. So it wasn't just a fluky Beck through picks and they lost the game. I mean, Smoot was better. I didn't get a chance to see the Louisville game where he threw 4 picks in that game. But, watching him last week, and still this whole thing with the week off is definitely a thing. I mean, it's not. I mean, unless you're Signetti, then it's not a thing because nothing's a thing with Signetti. It's like, whatever. We're off. We'll still kick their ass. But Miami's super physical. They didn't even really get a chance to use Tony. It was Fletcher. It was the defense. It was getting after Stockton. And aside from 2 drives in the middle of the game where Georgia started to run the ball with Frazier, they shut that down pretty well too. They're super physical. I like them. This Mississippi team may just have them be on the magic carpet ride, John. It may just be one of those things where they're going to figure out a way one way or the other. How do you see
They're
this
Michigan 1989, Tom.
Yeah. No, exactly. Absolutely right. So 3.5-point favorites is Miami. How do you see this one?
I actually like the Canes. I'm hesitant
Okay.
to pick against Mississippi, given that vibe they've got. And Trinidad Chambliss, their quarterback, he was terrific against Georgia, just terrific.
Yeah,
He was playing a year ago. He was playing Division II Ferris State, and now he's in the CFP semifinals. Right?
It's crazy.
It's an incredible story, and but I think Miami's got too many good players, especially on the lines of scrimmage. They got first-round picks up front. They're talented playmakers. They've done a good job of limiting the chances of Beck throwing picks in the playoff, right? They're kind of a little bit conservative, lean into the running game. Mark Fletcher Jr., I think that's a smart way to go. The less they have to rely on Beck, probably the better. I think it'll be close, but I actually like Miami with the points there.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Indiana's taking on Oregon, 3.5-point favorite over the Ducks. And it's funny because I took the Ducks the first time they played in Eugene against Indiana. And we have Dr. Bob on during the college football season.
Oh, yeah.
And he said something that I haven't forgot to this day, because I told him I wanted to take Oregon. He goes, well, what's the reason? And I go, well, I didn't really give him a great reason. And he goes, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to bet against Kurt Signetti unless I have a really good reason to. And usually I don't have a really good reason to.
Yeah.
And I found out that day why. Like I knew probably halfway through the first quarter I wasn't going to cover that game. They were 8-point favorites against Indiana. Now I didn't know Indiana would win, but I knew there's slim chance Oregon's going to cover. Like they're the real deal. They're super physical. They run the ball. The coach is really smart.
Yep.
Mendoza's good. He scrambles at just the right times. Like he doesn't scramble a lot, but if it's 3rd and 3, he'll pick up 4 for you. Like they're just. And again, I don't know if you'll agree with me. I say this is the greatest coaching job in the history of short-term coaching job in the history of college sports. I mean, it just is. I mean, this is the worst program in the history of sports percentage-wise until recently, where they passed up Wake Forest. And what he's done has been incredible. So I'd love to go Oregon. I'd love to go to old Pac-12 school. I think they definitely have a shot. But man, how do you go against Indiana here? How do you? I mean,
it's tough. I was actually at the Oregon Indiana game.
Oh, were you?
Yes, and Indiana basically kicked the snot out of them at the line of scrimmage. They were just tougher and better, and they just completely discombobulated Dante Moore. Oregon averaged like 2.5 yards per rush. It ended 30-20, but it really in the press box it didn't feel even that close. Partly because Mendoza made probably his worst pass of the whole season, turned into a pick 6 early in the 4th quarter. Otherwise, that game Indiana wins that game by 3 touchdowns. But the last 10 minutes of that game, there was no indication Oregon was going to win. Indiana just took it to them. Now, I do think Oregon is better since then. I also think Indiana's better since then. But to me, it's going to get back to how will Oregon protect more, because Indiana's pass rush, it is good, and their corners are good, and they just are in the right position on every single play. It is remarkable. He's doing it with a core of guys that were with him at James Madison. There's like 8 guys that were at James Madison are the core of the best team in the country. It's incredible, right? It's not like he went from James Madison to Indiana and then used all these, blue chip players to make the Hoosiers good. He brought his guys from the Sun Belt. But they're good, and they'll be draft picks.
They are.
I think that that number's tough for me. I part of me believes this is Oregon's year because nobody expects it. It's Oregon's year because last year they were the favorite and they got steamrollered in the quarterfinals. And this year, all the logistics are in their favor. They got the home game. They got to play in the opening round. Nobody expects them to win, so that this is their year. But man, I don't want to pick against Indiana either. I don't. The 3.5. I mean, if it were 5, maybe, but I don't think 3.5 is quite enough.
Yeah, it was 4 for a while. I was hoping it might go to 4.5 just so I could, because I kind of wanted to take Oregon. I don't really have any like strong interest in like trying to, make money betting against Indiana.
Right.
I mean, why would you? I mean, go back and look, as he says, Google him. Go back and look at his ATS record, not only at Indiana, but at James Madison too. The dude's a winning machine. He's a covering machine. And oh, by the way, Indiana just crush it in the portal like they always do.
They did.
Oh wait, they don't. They never have. It's Indiana.
Well,
it's incredible. Not only that, but you mentioned Vandy. Lee is doing a great job. Like what is going on nowadays?
It's like a revolution. All these schools that have been bad for so long. I mean, look at Texas Tech. Some of it's great coaching. Some of it is tons of money. Some of it's both. Indiana's cleaning up in the portal now. They just got Josh Hoover, the quarterback from TCU, who's really good to replace Mendoza. But I would agree. I think it's if they win the national title, you may be able to argue it's the best coaching job in American sports history. I mean, they just beat Ohio State on a neutral field. Ohio State's got 4 or 5 first-round picks in April, and none of them are the best player on Ohio State's team. That's how good they are, right? Yeah. Jeremiah Smith's not eligible for the draft. They got all these first-round picks, and Indiana beat them. And then they just, trashed Alabama, which also can't run the ball, but does have good players. So, I mean, it's incredible what they've done. Incredible. It's making a lot of other coaches look bad. And a lot of fans at other schools thinking, well, if Indiana could do it, why can't we? And hey, coach, whoever your name is, you're not. You look bad compared to Cignetti. So
it's the most
see if there's any
program
kind of downstream impact from that.
I think Alabama, it's definitely arguable. They're the most storied program in the history of college football, and they just got embarrassed by Indiana. Like. It just doesn't compute that Indiana is doing this. I kind of felt the same way when Harbaugh did at Stanford, what he did, but at least Stanford did have some success throughout the years. You could look back and go, yeah, Stanford was good here, though. Rose Bowl here, they did well there, but nothing ever like Harbaugh did. And then Shaw kind of kept it going for a couple years. Like when academic institutions do that, it's incredible. Like what Vanderbilt is doing with Lee, incredible. In the SEC, it's incredible. But at least their recruiting base is pretty well defined. Like if we can get really good football players who are really smart, we're going to have a huge leg up on these guys. Yeah. They're going to want an education. And like, you go to Indiana, what do you go there for? Football? Not really. Last I checked, Indiana's not a huge academic. Like, no, not really. I could do a lot better than that. Yet they are, and Cignetti is just again, John, it does not compute. It computes less than anything I've seen in college athletics, maybe in my lifetime. I know Butler went to 2 straight Final Fours. They didn't win. That didn't compute but coming to find out their coach was pretty good and had a couple pretty good players too. Yeah. But still, that was crazy. This is like anything I've ever seen. Like again, Indiana's good, and they're just like, and Cignetti, he's scary too, John, because he got the hands on the hip, and he never turns his head. He just does his eyes.
Yeah, kind of like this. He's an interesting dude.
He looks over here and looks over here, then he's down.
He's making a lot of people rethink how they run their football programs too. There's been nothing like it. Now, would it be happening without the portal, without NIL, all that kind of stuff? No, because he brought all these guys with him from James Madison. But you go back and you think he was in the Sun Belt and the lower levels for a long time. He was a head coach, multiple lower levels for a long time. Indiana had the foresight to hire him. Nobody else did. There was a lot of schools that needed coaches in 2023, 2022, and nobody hired Frank Kirk Cignetti, right? His brother, Frank, was a former Cal assistant coach.
Oh, really?
I believe so. And head coach at Pittsburgh, I want to say. But Kurt, nothing like it. and it's a product of this era, and I think it's good for the sport. I think college football is much better off with this kind of thing rather than having, 4 of the same teams playing for the championship every year.
That's the one I wanted to mention that in closing. Like, we talk about this, and I say that transfer portals got to be fixed, and it's the Wild West. I still think there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in college athletics, specifically college football. But you know what? I'm so happy it's not Bama and Clemson and Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah.
It's like, give me these schools. Like, Oregon's been there a while. Indiana, we just went over them. I mean, get out of here. Ole Miss, no. And then Miami, only 20 years ago, you thought, okay, Miami was really good back then. But so, yeah, if this is what we're going to get, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm okay going through all the other stuff to get to this, because at least we get something new and fresh and different matchups and different coaches and different personalities. This is fine. This is fine. I don't need to see another Clemson-Bama matchup again. I just don't need to see that. So I guess all in all, and John, I think that's what they're probably saying. Like, look, you may not like the way we got here, but we got here.
That's
and you keep watching. So
it's turned, only of the 4 teams left, Miami's the only one that's ever won a national title. So there's a good chance it'll be a first-time winner, and it would be the first-time winner since Florida did it with Spurrier in 1996. Since 96, every team that's won a national title had won a national title previously.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a sport of royalty. And I think part of what's happened, and I think that this kind of captures your sentiment, is it's a lot more like March Madness now. You know, it's a Final Four where you got a 1 seed and a 4 and a 5 and an 8. And the 1 seed's good, but they're not, UNLV 1990 good. So it's up in the air and you don't know who's going to win. And I think it's been great for basketball, and it's what makes the tournament the best event in sports. And I think that the college football postseason is turning into that now.
Yeah. In college football playoffs, who's this year's Moses Scurry?
I don't know. Has anybody been in the hot tub with the fixer?
Not that I'm sure of, but there's definitely a possibility. Well, you know what, John? You could do that now. It's not even illegal.
That's true. That's true. I hadn't thought about it.
In fact, the kids have already bought their own hot tubs. You kidding me?
True.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been far too long. And then, again, once your schedule gets maybe lightens up a little bit, which it never will, I'd still love to have you out here. Get you in the backyard when the weather's better. We'll have a beer and talk a little college sports.
Yeah, that'd be great. I really appreciate having me on. Tons of fun, Tom.
Thanks John. So I appreciate it. Have a great one.
Take care, man. I'll see you.
All right, John. That was a lot of fun. John's he's so good. I used to have him on as much as I could when I was doing the show. A lot of times the powers that be didn't want to talk college football or college basketball. And I always try to tell him it wasn't about college football, college basketball. I mean, it is, but it's about the conversation. And John's just great. Same with Drew Remenda, who we're having on Friday. Do we want to talk hockey? I don't know. Not a lot of people like hockey. I don't want to talk hockey. And it's like, it's not just about hockey. It's about the guest. All right. And about having a fun segment, which Drew provides. And by the way, it's a fun team this year too. So it is fun talking a little hockey, as the Sharks won last night against the Jackets. Was it 5-2? I think it was. Macklin Celebrini extended his point streak to 11 games. And speaking of the Sharks, they are the official, or the Fieldwork is the official non-alcoholic beer of the San Jose Sharks. You can go down there and grab some non-alcoholic beer. You can go over to China Basin, right across from Oracle. Right, you look across, it's like, hey, here we are, and here's McCovey Cove, and there's Oracle. Boom, it's right there. So you can grab some non-alcoholic beer if you, they are fun to watch. So if you are participating in Dry January, Fieldwork has some NA beers for you. If you like the fully leaded variety, as do I, you can grab some of those as well. So Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of your San Jose Sharks. I don't think you're getting 50% off today. I don't think Toffoli scored yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And so let me see. I can get it for you real quick. Because I know they had a bunch of empty netters at the end. Let's see here. What we got for the Sharkies last night? Celebrini, empty netter. Ferrari had the assist. Ferrari, empty netter. Weinberg had the assist. I'll stop Chuck unassisted. That was the biggest play of the game. Winberg, Eklund, and I got to ask Drew Regenda. Who's this Pablo Regenda guy? Oh, Toffoli did. Yes. First goal of the game. Okay, so there you go. 50% off. Head over to Philwork. Get 50% off your non-alcoholic beer, your first draft beer. So there, winner. Toffoli. Like my alarm. Great show. Shit finale is whatever. 50% off, exclamation point. And so, yeah, you can head over there, grab yourself some Philwork beverages. And I should get the one of these times I'll put it up there on the screen what their non-alcoholic offerings are. I know they have a Pilsner. I know they have a Blonde Ale, and they have an IPA. Because I have them all in my fridge. I'm not sure exactly if they have any others out there that you can enjoy. And so Sharks hockey is about to be the number one show and topic in the Bay Area. No, it's not. I wish it was. I like Sharks hockey. I like talking Sharks hockey, but it's just so there you go. Headliner, Day Money. Encore is the one I haven't had, the hazy IPA. And then the American Pilsner. Yeah. So they got four of them over there if you would like to. Yeah. And then they got a bunch of tonics. I haven't tried those either. I'm not a huge tonic guy. The hop water I have had. I like those. Bring those out on the golf course and stuff. So a lot of stuff over there for you. If you are want to go to field work, but you don't want to imbibe, you don't want to drink fully leaded beverages, you can certainly do that. So anyway, real quick, let me give me the beer sign real quick, and then I'll come back and I'll just go over the coaching vacancies if I can. We can put those up on the screen for you, and I'll just give you my thoughts on each coaching vacancy and the firings and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll wrap it up. So go ahead and throw Homer up there for me, and then see if we can get a graphic that shows all the opening vacancies. All righty? I'll be right back. All right. It's the only YouTube show in the country that stops for dog and cat feedings. And we do it because we love them. And because they're a pain in the ass when you don't feed them. So everybody gets taken care of. Let's just go over these real quick. So Giants, Dable got fired not that long ago. And I'm not sure about Shane as the GM. I don't follow him that closely. It seems like a pretty good job, though, if you think Dart is going to be good. And I'm not sure that he is. You can't survive in the league running. That's just not. You can run and you got to use your legs, but I don't know if you can do it as much as he does it right now. Can he throw the ball consistently? Not sure. Their running backs, Tracy Jr., Scatterable, fine. Offensive line seemed like it was solid this year. Maybe not solid. Maybe just kind of okay. You got a number one wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. Your defensive line's really good, and your defense kind of has the makings of something that can be deep. So I think that's a pretty good job. It looks like Harbaugh is the one they're going after, and we'll get to him in a minute. But John Harbaugh looks to be the favorite in the clubhouse. Titans, Callahan got fired after, 5-6 games this year. It's season and a half, season and a third, whatever. Again, I didn't watch Titans a lot. Why would you? I do know it's obvious you can win there. I wonder if they're thinking we should get a guy like Vrabel. Vrabel would be a really good guy to get, like that type of guy. What, we had him? Well, why we let him go? For the same reason the Ravens let Harbaugh go, except Harbaugh won a Super Bowl. Things get stale sometimes. Things just get stale. And even though I think Harbaugh's a really good coach, somebody had a great meme. Great meme. It was just a picture of the goalpost at the end of the Ravens-Steelers game. And in the middle of it, it says Tomlin gets fired. On either side of it, it says Harbaugh gets fired. Sometimes that's how close it is. And I think Tomlin's a good coach. Harbaugh, a good coach. Sometimes the message gets stale. Sometimes you need to move on. And I'm sure those were the discussions within the front office of the Ravens. Like, they knew they were letting a good coach go. They knew that. But they did it anyway because they needed to freshen things up. Apparently, he didn't want to consider firing Todd Monken, who's the offensive coordinator. And at that point, they just said, well, that's not going to work. What I read was Monken and Lamar Jackson didn't always see eye to eye. So whatever. Sometimes you just need a new message, but be careful. Careful what you get. Be careful what you wish for, because they just let a really good coach go. And it's not easy. That's what I always tell people about Shanahan. Like, you let him go, he'll get hired within a week. Like, Shanahan's a really good coach. And I don't think we're at the point yet of they need to freshen it up. This team still really plays hard. Look at him this year. I mean, incredible this year. So where were we? Giants, we went to Titans. Raiders let Pete Carroll go. Good for Pete. Pete got a little something to add onto his 401k. I can buy some more gum now. He's good to go. He's like, I took over for a year. This organization is just dysfunctional. What? No. And has the game passed Pete by? I don't know. I don't think so. Look, it's so much about organizations. It's so much about ownership and GMs. And is everybody aligned in what they're doing? And if they're not aligned, is there leakage in the building? Is there dysfunction in the building? Do people want credit over other people? Can people compromise? Like, there's just so many things that goes on inside an organization that you need to have for success. But it does start with ownership. And right now, the Raiders are just kind of like adrift. They're just adrift. Cleveland Browns to get rid of Stefanski. I like Stefanski a lot. If I was a team and I didn't take Harbaugh, I'd look seriously into getting Kevin Stefanski. I know the offense wasn't great there, but he takes over and they get Deshaun Watson. Like that was a mess. You get somebody that didn't want to be there, that the owner decided to pay $240 million to, all guaranteed. And like, okay, we're good. No, you weren't good. So I didn't think Stefanski got a great shake. Made the playoffs in 03, starting like what, five quarterbacks that year. It was like Flacco and Watson and DTR. And it's like, what? This guy Driscoll may have started a game or two that year. Like, I like Stefanski. And it's more about his demeanor. Like, I know he knows offense, even though it didn't show on the field. They were better defense than they were offense. And a great beard, too. Fantastic beard. So if I'm a team and I don't get Harbaugh, I think Stefanski would be the guy that I would look at. Cardinals are just the fucking Cardinals. I mean, every once in a while they'll rise up and they'll be good. I thought Gannon was okay a couple years ago. They played hard. Their defense was good. Look, you got Kyler Murray. So much of this is tied to your quarterback as well. Arizona, Kyler Murray. Raiders, I mean, not just Geno, but whoever, right? Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, Falcons. Who have they had? Cousins, and then is Penix going to be any good? Not sure. Titans, who have they had? Don't know. Don't care. I mean, obviously they have Ward this year, but who have they had before that? I'm trying to think of the guy. You could pop it up on screen for me. They actually had the number 1 seed when Vrabel was there. And Tannehill, I believe it was. Ryan Tannehill was their quarterback. So, Vrabel knows what he's doing. Giants, like, is Dart the guy? It sure ain't Russell Wilson. So, a lot of it is just, do you have a quarterback? Do you have the infrastructure to succeed? And so, yeah, I know. Look, all this is up for debate, right, KG? I mean, he says they can move on from Kyler. Lamar could be on the move. I'm not moving Lamar yet. I mean, Lamar is still pretty good. I've never been a Kyler fan at all, but I am a Lamar Jackson fan, and I got to find out what happened to him this year, because it seemed like he wasn't quite healthy. He just wasn't as dynamic as he has been in the past. So is that, accumulation of hits taking its toll? Never seems like he really takes a big hit, but he has run a lot throughout the course of his career. So look, I again, what job is the best? Don't know. I would say Giants if you think Dart is good. I think you have the makings of a pretty good football team in New York. Titans, don't know. Falcons, I don't know. They're just the Falcons. Like, one of the Falcons has not been the Falcons. They're the Falcons. I mean, they had the 1 year they make it to the Super Bowl, blow the massive lead we all remember. The one Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls where the coordinator gets blamed more than the head coach. That would be Kyle Shanahan. I still like the fact people sneak that in there, that he's lost like 3 Super Bowls. Like, I keep adding on, like 1, 2. Where's the 3rd Super Bowl? Oh, that's right. They're counting that one. He gets dinged for that one too. Browns, hell no. A great headline. God, where's that headline that I saw in The Athletic yesterday? It's from Jimmy Haslam, and I sent it to a buddy, so I should be able to get it pretty quick. Yeah, this is it. It's on The Athletic. Maybe I'll pop it up there for you. See if you can read it. Fucking great. You got a kicker. Good job. Well done. Like, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You like owners like that. Like, well, now what do I do? And here's the things. Here's the thing to keep in mind. The coaches that take these jobs know they're walking into a buzzsaw. Know that it can be dysfunctional to slightly dysfunctional. but they get paid a lot of money. And there's only 32 of the jobs. And you're not sure when you're going to get another one. And so that's why if I'm Robert Saleh this year, I'm making very, very, very sure I have everything lined up. I have what I need. And I'm in line with ownership. Because if not, I'll just wait. Saleh's going to get another chance. You may not get 3, but you will get another chance. So I would be very careful if I were him taking another job, not just to take another job. I don't blame him the first time. You win in New York, you're golden. But even if you don't win in New York, you're getting a crap ton of money. And you get to be the head coach of your own team. So it'll come about again. It'll come about again. And he's getting paid anyway. So he's good. In reference to the last person who commented, Signetti's not an NFL guy. I don't know. What's he, like 63, 65? I mean, Signetti's getting up there. So it's just, you think, like, I've never seen, of course you've never seen him before. Guy's been coaching in the lower levels, finally gets his chance. It's like, bam. But he's definitely a college guy. Why would he leave? He's going to get so much money. He's got that thing rolling. Ha! Think about that. I actually said someone has Indiana football rolling. Like, I use rolling. Things I never thought I would ever say. And Signetti has him rolling. It's absolutely incredible. So, best job up there, though, by far is the Ravens, right? I mean, you got Lamar Jackson. You got stability, ownership good, front office good. You got your quarterback. So I think that clearly is a job that if I'm a coach, now I don't know if it's Mentor. That's what I keep hearing. Mentor, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, which is jump over there. But that's the job I want. The job I least want, Cleveland or the Raiders. I'm not sure if it's Cleveland or the Raiders, but it's one of those two. Like, it just can't get out of their own way. They just step on their own dicks constantly. And I want an owner that's passionate about what he does, gives his advice, his opinions, all that. But at the end of the day, hires people and lets them do their job. Hire a GM, let them do their job. Hire scouts, let them do their job. Hire coaches, let them do their job. If you keep throwing, like Deshaun Watson, that wasn't a GM call. That wasn't a coach. That was an ownership call. That was Haslam. After Deshaun Watson told you he didn't want to come there, and you just said, well, I'm going to make it impossible for you to turn this down. So when you guarantee the entire contract, I want to say it was $242 to be precise. When you do that, there you go. You're just getting a player who really didn't want to be there because you overpaid him. He'll come. And then what do you get? This. Not to say it couldn't have been better had he not been injured, but that thing was a disaster from the get-go. So if you want to be a coach, that's what you have to deal with. Do you want to deal with that? So I wouldn't want to go to Cleveland. The Raiders right now, no thank you. Cardinals, again, are the Cardinals until proven otherwise. Like, to me, it's the Ravens number 1, Giants number 2. I mean, at least the Raiders, you got the number 1 pick. It's still the Raiders, though. Maybe the Raiders. Maybe. God. Falcons, no. Like, it's just not a lot. Like, again, if I'm not getting the Ravens or Giants job, I might just pass. But someone's going to take them. They're filling those jobs somehow. Again, it's a lot of money. And there's only 32 of those jobs available. I've had several NBA assistant coaches tell me they want to get a head job because they like that head coaching money. Who doesn't? Especially where it's at now. Everybody loves running their own program. Everybody loves calling the shots. If you can call the shots, are you calling the shots? Is the GM calling the shots? Is the owner calling the shots? Or are you calling the shots? And of course, that, I believe this is a direct quote, sweet, sweet head coaching money. End quote. That the assistants don't get. They do okay, but it's not sweet head coaching money. So crazy day in the NFL, crazy day in the portal. It's always fun having Wilner on like that. That's wild. Oh, I should mention, I don't know, I got to run. I'm going to take some comments too. But do we have the highlight of Steve like jumping up and down on the sidelines? Oh my God. How do you miss that goaltending? I'm not saying it would have my daughter was going nuts. She's like, we lost by 1. The goaltending's 2. I go, you can't do that. She goes, I know, but I want to. So in case you missed it, you probably didn't. Steve got kicked out of the game because the goaltending call that was so egregious. So egregious. I mean, I guess I have. I probably have seen something that egregious before, but Steve just went bunny hopping down the sidelines. And I knew at that point he was done. He was going to get kicked out. I could just tell. And sure enough, he got kicked out. And they ended up losing by 1. They actually had a shot at the end of the game to win that game, lose by 1. That was pretty funny. If you didn't see it, you've seen it. Everybody's seen that one. If you didn't see it, go see it. Because you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy watching Steve lose his mind. The one thing Steve did tell me, though, he goes, my mom was at the game. She wasn't happy. I love his mom, man. She's the best. And with it, never like hugely into sports, more of an academic. And Steve obviously is very, very passionate about sports. I'm sure Ann and his dad had plenty of words with him when he was throwing his temper tantrums on the Little League field. Yeah, Snoop Dogg calling the play was pretty good. You're in Inglewood. Oh, Snoop Dogg. Oh, man. All right, let's take some comments, and then I'll get out of here. And we'll be back Friday. Dennis will join me Friday, and Drew Menda will join us Friday. Would I have transferred? I don't know. It's a good question. Probably not, but I can't say for sure. I did transfer, but I had to go through the proper channels. I went to Irvine for a year and a half. Then I went to Cerritos College for a year and a half. And then I went to Arizona for 2 years. So, but I mean, look, I was playing for the number 1 team in the country. I got a chance to play with Steve and Sean Elliott, Craig McMillan, who was my roommate, one of my best friends who I do the show with on Sundays, and we'll do a show this Sunday too. Craig Bergman, met him there. So a lot of my close friends are, one day I went to Arizona with. So I'm hoping I wouldn't have. I think I wouldn't have. I certainly wouldn't have had knuckleheads giving me advice. That I do know. But I don't know. That's a great question. You don't know until you're actually there. And, some of these guys are getting life-changing money to throw their name in the portal and transfer. And I don't know what you do about tampering, because of course they're going to tamper. Before they put their name in the portal, they want to know they're going to get some money and someone's going to pay them. They're not just putting it in there for the hell of it. So, yeah, of course they do. And so, anywho, it's kind of a mess. Not kind of a mess. It is a mess. They need to fix it. That being said, the product's still pretty fun. And I'm happy with the 4 teams we got. It's different than what we've been getting the last 20 years. So, just sit here and you bitch and you're like, oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. I'll still watch, though. And that's what they're counting on. If you watch, nobody cares. If the ratings drop, then they'll make changes. But still, something's got to be done about the transfer portal. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. All right. Do we have any other comments that we want to throw up there? And so I'm reading some of them right now. Yeah, it looks like we're good. looks like everybody's good. Everybody having a good day. Everybody enjoying. Get the weather is actually nice today. I kind of like that. I might go outside and just chill. Got a game tonight. We got what do we got? Warriors and Bucks tonight. And so we'll see if the Warriors get back on the train. All right. So Friday, Drew Menda and Dennis Ranahan, and we may have something between now and then. That's a possibility. Get you ready, and then Sunday, we'll have a game. We'll have a post game show following the Niner game. So probably about an hour, I'm guessing, because the other game's going to be on while we're on. So I guess we could wait till they're all over, but probably won't. It'll probably be right after the Niner game. We'll set it up and head out there and talk a little Niner Eagles. And so we'll have that for you Sunday evening. So everybody have a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you again on Friday. See ya.
And remember this, Tommy T, cash and tickets is what it's all about.